Hello, friends. Welcome to Coding Droplets. Hope you're all fine. And today I'm excited to say that we are going to discuss about RabbitMQ and its features, processes, all those things. So we will be discussing in detail about what is RabbitMQ, how to install it, and how RabbitMQ works. Also, we'll be discussing the several use cases where we can install where we can use RabbitMQ. So let us check whether RabbitMQ is the best message broker. And let me know your feedbacks in the comment section. Also, let me know if you are currently using any other message brokers other than RabbitMQ and you felt like it is the best one available. So let me know your comments on that. And I request you to subscribe the channel so that you will get notified while we upload new videos. So let us check about RabbitMQ. Now I have opened the RabbitMQ website in my browser, www.rabbitmq.com. So here you can see they have mentioned RabbitMQ is the most widely deployed open source message broker with tens of thousands of users. RabbitMQ is one of the most popular open source message broker. So many things, and RabbitMQ is used worldwide, small startups and large enterprises. Anyway, so RabbitMQ is lightweight and easy to deploy on premises and in cloud. So it can be installed in almost all kind of operating systems like Windows, Linux, Mac, all kind of operating systems. And other thing what I have noticed is we can integrate RabbitMQ in several different languages. I will show you, it is here actually. Yeah, in RabbitMQ tutorial, you can see here Python, Java, Ruby, PHP, C#, even in JavaScript, Go, so many languages. So we can directly integrate RabbitMQ in all these languages. Anyway, first let us check how RabbitMQ works. So let us discuss about a use case first. I think then it will be easier for us to explain how we can use RabbitMQ for that particular process. Okay, so let us think that we are creating a enterprise application, say, for example, a banking application. Okay, so now just assume that you are developing a banking application. So for example, in a bank, there will be many kind of processes. Customers will be visiting the branches and they will be depositing the amount, they will be withdrawing the amounts, and also there will be online transfers, so many kind of things. And also customers will do online purchases using using credit card or debit card or internet banking, so many kind of things. Okay, so let us think in this particular solution. Now, anyway, we are most of us are developing while developing these kind of enterprise solutions. Most of us will use microservice architecture. So microservice architecture means we will split several operations into small services. So in that case, we will be having a requirement like one service or one application has to communicate with another application or another service to do a particular task. So here in this banking application or in this banking solution, we will be having a requirement for customer notification like via email or SMS. So you all will be knowing when a customer depositing some kind of amount into their account, immediately they will receive an email, deposit successful, that so many kind of things, and their account details, all those things in their email. Also, they will be receiving SMS. And if they are withdrawing the amount, then also they will be receiving email, SMS. Also, for all kind of transactions, we have to send emails and SMS to the customer. Okay, so let us assume we have a microservice specially dedicated for one service for email and another service for SMS. Okay, so we are having two different microservices, one specially dedicated for email. So that service will be only handling emails, the customer emails, any kind of emails coming, any kind of email requests coming inside, it will process the emails and send the customer the email. And another service which is only processing the SMS. So some kind of SMS API or something will be integrated in that service. So when a request reach, this service will send the SMS to the customer's mobile number with some kind of SMS content, like your transaction is successful or something like that. So now let us check how we can achieve this by using using RabbitMQ. So I'll do one thing. I'll just open. Okay. So here, let us assume we are having two different services. This is service 1 and okay. Now another one more service. This is service 2. Okay, so our first service is specially designed to handle emails. Okay, so let us name this as email service. Okay, and now we have another one more service that is specially designed for processing SMS request. So we will name it as SMS service. Okay, now there will be many other applications as well. Might be some web platform applications or desktop applications, several kind of applications as well. Anyway, we don't need that. We don't need to discuss about those actually. So now we are only looking how we can use RabbitMQ to process email and SMS. Okay, so in RabbitMQ, we have to understand there are two main modules, or we can say the first thing is an exchange. Okay, so this is exchange. We can create as many exchanges we need. Okay, so this is exchange or exchanges. Okay, and another one is a queue. So I'll explain how this works. Sorry. Queues. So here in RabbitMQ, we can create as many queues we need, and also we can create as many exchanges we need. So now we'll explain what is exchange and what is a queue. So exchange is for sending a message. So if one application, now there is one application here. So say this is a web application or something, anything, a web application. Okay. So yeah, let us assume that this is the customer internet banking web application. Okay, so one customer is logging into the internet banking application, and they are doing some transfer. Some amount got transferred from their account to another account. So at that time, we have to process both emails and SMS. Okay, so this application has to send the request to this email service and the SMS service. Then only these emails and SMS will get processed. Okay, in that case, here what we are doing is inside exchange, we are creating one exchange named okay, notification. or customer notification. Sorry. One moment. Okay, here we are creating one exchange. I will make it much more bigger box. Okay, and we are naming it as customer notification. Okay, so this is one exchange. And inside queues, we are creating two queues. So one is email. We are naming it as email notification, something like that. And the second queue, we are naming it as SMS notification. Okay. So now inside RabbitMQ, we are having two different modules, exchanges and queues. So inside exchanges, I will show these things in detail now. So just before that, I'm just explaining the concept, how these things work. So inside exchanges, we are creating one exchange, only one exchange is needed for both email and SMS. So that is customer notification. And inside queues, we are creating two different queues. One is email notification and another one is SMS notification. Okay. Now, if we have exchanges and queues registered in RabbitMQ, the next thing what we have to do is we have to bind this exchange, or we have to bind a queue with an exchange. Okay, so I will explain why we need to bind it. What is the use of that? Anyway, first I'm just binding this. For example, okay, we are binding this exchange email notification queue with customer notification exchange, and SMS notification queue also with customer notification exchange. So both these queues are binded with customer notification exchange. While binding, there is an option to mention a routing key. So for this first binding, I am giving the routing key as email. Okay, for the first binding, the routing key is email. And for the second binding, the routing key is SMS. Hope you're able to see it. Okay, so here I have typed SMS here. Oh, sorry, SMS. Okay. Okay, so for the first binding, the routing key is email, and for the second binding, I have given the routing key as SMS. Okay, now this web application, while the customer is doing a particular transaction from this web application has to send the request to the exchange. So whoever publishing the message or whoever is the sender will communicate with the exchange, and whoever are the receiver will communicate with the queues. Okay, so here what we are doing is when the customer done a transaction, this web application is sending two different requests to the customer notification exchange. So the first request, again, while sending this request, we have to mention the routing key. So here for the first request, I have mentioned the routing key as email. And for the second request, I have mentioned the routing key as SMS. Okay, in this request, there will be a routing key and a message content. So the message body can be anything. We can send any kind of text format or even a byte array. Those kind of things we can send. So we can also even send a JSON string so that we can deserialize the JSON to a particular object from the recipient or from the consumer, and we can do the process what we need. Anyway, I will show all these things in RabbitMQ. So just before that, I'm just explaining how the scenario works. So now for the first request, the routing key is email. So it reaches the customer notification exchange. So then the exchange will check, is there any queues registered or any queues binded with this exchange with the same routing key, email. So this exchange can see that email notification queue has been binded with the routing key email. So that particular message will be routed to email notification queue. And in the same way, the second request, SMS request, will reach the customer notification exchange, and the exchange will check which queue has been binded with the routing key SMS. So it can see the SMS notification queue has been binded with the routing key SMS. So this exchange will route that message, the second message, to the second queue, SMS notification queue. Okay, fine. So now the message has arrived in two different queues. Okay, now the next thing, these two services will be registered or will be connected using a channel to the queues. So this first service will be connected to email notification queue, and the second service will be connected to the SMS notification queue. Okay, so automatically when a message arrives in a queue, the message will be delivered to the consumer. So we may here there is one more thing. If we need to send or to process emails from another server as well, like we are getting a lot many email requests, so one server is not enough to process the requests. So in that case, we need to split the load in between two different servers. In that case, RabbitMQ is the best solution what I have seen. So we can deploy the same email service application in another server, and the same. So here there will be one more email service. Okay, email service, and this service will also be connected to the email notification queue. So just assume that when now we have received one email notification, one message in the email notification queue. Okay, so this message will be delivered to any of this service, not to both, any of the service. Okay, so if we are getting some 100 requests, so in that we can split the request between the consumers. So for example, we can send 50 messages to the first service and another 50 to the second service. In that way, we can handle the we can what I can say, we can separate, or we can as we told, we can reduce the load of the server. Okay, so in this way we can deploy how many services we need, and we can connect to the same queue. So the messages arriving the queue will be distributed accordingly. Okay, now let us check how these things work in RabbitMQ. So first of all, in order to install RabbitMQ, what you need to do is, if you click here, get started, here you have an option, download plus installation. So when you click on that, for yeah, you can see the installation guides here for Debian, Ubuntu, Windows, Mac, all these operating systems. For Windows, if you're installing in Windows, then there is one more dependency that you have to install. We can even install the Docker for RabbitMQ. The Docker image is also available. So those who need the Docker image can download it or get it from here. And if you are installing it in Windows, then we have one more dependency. Yes, that is Erlang client. One moment. For Windows, I think we have to click on here. Yes. So Yes, the dependency, RabbitMQ requires a 64-bit supported version of Erlang. So we can get this from this link. When we click on here, we will get the Erlang. We can download Erlang from here and we can install it. So this should be installed in our machine and it should be running in order RabbitMQ to run in Windows machines. And you can get the, you can download RabbitMQ from here for Windows and we can install it. So once we install RabbitMQ, then we can just search for Rabbit. Here you can see RabbitMQ service top, also RabbitMQ service start will also be here. Then, sorry, RabbitMQ, yeah, command prompt will also be here. So in my machine now, RabbitMQ is already installed. And one more thing I need to mention. So once you installed RabbitMQ, for RabbitMQ, they are having a web-based management portal, but we have to enable it. If we have not enabled it, we will not be able to use it. So in order to enable that, what we have to do is we have to open this RabbitMQ command prompt. Okay, then we will get a command line window like this. Here, what we can do is just give it like this: RabbitMQ-plugins enable RabbitMQ management. So now I have given that. So enabling plugins. Okay, so now the plugins has been enabled, and here it has been mentioned changes will take effect after at broker restart. So we need to restart RabbitMQ in order to. I think my RabbitMQ is already stopped. Anyway, let me try to stop it again. I don't know the current status. I think it is already stopped. Let me check. Is not started. Okay, so now what I can do is I can directly start RabbitMQ. RabbitMQ services starting. Yeah, it got started. So now if the web management portal is enabled, we will be able to browse. Yeah, localhost and with the port number 15672. So this port number will open the RabbitMQ management portal. So initially, we have not created a username or password. So you can log in with username guest and password is also guest. Now it has got logged in. And once you are in, here you can see so many tabs: overview, connections, channels, exchanges, queues. So these exchanges and queues we have already discussed. That it is the same thing. And admin. So here what we can do, first, after you have installed RabbitMQ, I suggest you to create a administrator user. So I'm just creating one user here, administrator. Okay, and just giving some password. Add user. Yeah, now the user has been added, but the user has no access to virtual hosts. I will explain what is a virtual host. So currently what I'm doing is I'm just giving the access to virtual host. So currently there is no virtual host. There is only the root virtual host, that is /. So I'm giving the permission to that. Yeah, now the administrator user is having the complete access. Okay, now what I can do is I can log out and log in with the new user. Okay, sorry, I forgot to enable one more thing that is also important. So for administrator user, now we have given the permission to the virtual host, but there is one more thing. We have to add the tag. So I'm giving admin tag here. Okay, and update user. Oh, sorry, we have to specify the password again. Fine. Update user. Yeah, now the user has been updated. And I have logged out. Now I'm logging in with the new user. Fine. Now I'm able to log in with the new username, which I have created. Now what you can do is you can just remove this guest user from your RabbitMQ portal. Okay. Now we are going to implement this functionality in RabbitMQ. So I will show you how these things works in RabbitMQ, how these exchanges, queues, and all these things work in RabbitMQ. So here in RabbitMQ portal, first on the top right here, you can see here a refresh every 5 seconds. So this means the data inside the page will refresh in every 5 seconds. So we can change it to 10 seconds, 30 seconds, or do not refresh, but let it be 5 seconds so that we can see if a message arrived, or all these things we can see, the number of message counts, all these things we can see in real time. Not real time, a 5 seconds delay will be there, but anyway, we can see that. Okay, now the next thing what I need to show you is, before starting the queue and exchange part, first I will show you virtual host. So virtual host is like, it is for segregating the data between applications. So for each application, I prefer to create a new virtual host for each application or for each solution for different clients. So now for demo purpose, I'm creating a new virtual host, demo VH. Okay, demo virtual host, that is demo VH. So the main advantage of demo VH or a virtual host is if we are creating exchanges, queues under a particular virtual host, if we delete this virtual host, all the exchanges and queues under that virtual host will get deleted automatically. So we don't need to go and delete everything manually. Everything will get automatically deleted if we delete the virtual host. So what we can do is we can just click on the virtual host here, and here we have an option to delete the virtual host. So if we delete it, all the queues and exchanges, everything under this particular virtual host will also get deleted. And inside users also, we can set permission to virtual host. For example, if I'm creating a new user, and I can give the permission for that user to only a virtual host, not to any other. If I'm having some 10 different virtual hosts, some VH1, VH2, VH3, VH4, something like that, and I have created one user which is only having permission to VH2. So that user can only do operations inside VH2, the queues and exchanges inside VH2. They cannot touch any other queues or exchanges with their user credentials. So that is the use of virtual host. Now let us go to exchanges. So some exchanges has been automatically created. This is created by RabbitMQ itself. Anyway, we are not going to touch all these things. We are creating new exchanges. So as we discussed here, now what I'm going to show you is we can create exchange queues and publish messages, get messages. We can do all these things from this portal itself. So for you to understand it more clearly, first I will show you everything inside this portal, so you will get an idea how these things work. And after that, I will show you how we can integrate these things in an application. So all these things can be done programmatically, creating a new exchange, creating a queue, binding queue and exchange. All these things can be done programmatically. No need to touch the portal at all. But initially, to understand all the things clearly, I am just showing everything from this RabbitMQ portal or management portal itself. Okay, so from exchange, what I'm going to do is I'm clicking on add new exchange, and I'm adding a new exchange. So first we can choose a virtual host under which we have to create this exchange. So I'm choosing demos VH, okay. And the name of this exchange is customer notification. Okay. And type, we are having 4 different types of exchanges. So first, I am using direct exchange, and there is another exchange named fan out, then headers, topic, all these things. We will discuss these things in detail in later stages. Okay, so now I am using direct. This direct and fan out is the most commonly used types in my applications. So this is the most, I think these two are the most important exchange types which we have to use in our application. Anyway, that is up to our requirement, but I mostly use these two types. So I will explain these all the different types in a later stage. So first I'm going with direct exchange, and durability means if we give durable, the data will be we will not lose the data if the server got restarted or something. Means it will be permanently saved in our hard disk. So the data loss, there will be no data loss at all. Okay, and auto delete option is there. So auto delete means once a queue has received a message from this exchange, the exchange will get automatically deleted. And next time, if the application is sending another message, then it will automatically create a new exchange with the same name. And once that message is delivered, again, the exchange will get deleted. If we need like that, we can give yes, otherwise no. So if we give no, the exchange, once it is created, the exchange will be there. It will not get deleted at all. And internal, we will be discussing it in a later stage. Internal means the exchange can only be binded with another exchange. So we can transfer data between exchanges. So that we will be discussing in detail in a later stage. So currently I'm giving no, and no need of putting any arguments. So I'm just creating the exchange. So now you can see the exchange got created under demo VH, which demo virtual host, and the exchange name is customer notification. Okay. Now we are going to queues. So we have to create, as per our current plan, we have to create 2 different queues, email notification, then SMS notification. 2 different queues should be there. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a new queue under same demo virtual host and type classic. There are 2 different types, classic and quorum. So quorum is for it is again a last time I have discussed durability. So in exchanges I have discussed durability. So quorum is also for a high availability, means to prevent data loss. There will be what they are saying is, I have not used quorum yet, but in RabbitMQ what they are saying is, if we use quorum, the data loss chances are very, 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 very less. Very less means we can say that there will be no data loss at all. But the thing is, there might be slight performance difference actually. So here we are using classic. Then the name of this queue is email notification, correct? Yes, email notification. And here also we are giving durability as durable, same what we have explained before. And here also we have an auto delete option. Means once a queue received a message and it has been transferred to the consumer, the client, our application, then the queue can get automatically deleted. So if we need to do in that way, we can give yes here, otherwise no, and add queue. So now email notification queue has been added. Now I'm creating one more queue. So the name of the queue is SMS notification. Okay, same durable, all these things I have given as it is, add queue. So now we have 2 different queues and 1 exchange, customer notification exchange, and two different queues. Now, the next thing what we have to do is we have to bind the queue with the exchange. So here we have given a binding here, this line. So while binding the queue with an exchange, we have to provide a routing key. So what I'm doing is for email notification, I'm clicking on bindings. So from exchange, so to which exchange we have to bind. So the exchange name is customer notification. So customer notification, okay. And the routing key, we have mentioned the routing key as email here. For email notification, the routing key will be email. Okay, bind. So now the queue has been binded with an exchange. In the same way, if we have multiple exchanges, we can bind a single queue with multiple exchanges if we need, if we have such kind of requirements. But in our current scenario, we don't need that. And going back to queues, now I'm binding the SMS notification. So here also I'm binding with customer notification exchange, and the routing key is SMS. Okay, fine. So now both of our queues has been binded with this customer notification exchange. Okay, now we are sending one message to our queues. Okay, so we can test these things inside the portal itself. So if we click on this exchange customer notification, we can see an option publish message here. So these are the same parameters what we have to provide when we are publishing a message from our application. There is no difference. So while publishing a message, we should provide the routing key. What is the routing? What should be the routing key? So now we know this exchange has binded with two different queues. One queue is having a routing key email, and another queue is having a routing key SMS. So from our application, if we need to send an email, what we will do is we will give the routing key as email. And the payload can be anything. It can be a string, a text, or a JSON string, or anything actually. So here, for example, I'm sending a JSON string. Okay. So it is an email, right? So email ID is test@gmail.com. Okay. Now another thing, email content, your transaction is successful. Just a sample message. Okay. So I'm not giving any headers, any properties, nothing. So I'm just publishing the message here. So you can see the message published, close. Now, if we go to queues, we can see that one message is ready and it has not been acknowledged, means the message has not been consumed by any application. So it is ready there. Now, if an application is connected to this particular queue, automatically that application will be able to receive this message. And here in this portal also, we can see the message for testing purpose. So I'll show you how it works. So here what you have what we have to notice is now we have used the routing key email. So automatically that message has been received by the email notification queue, not by the SMS notification queue. Why? Because the email notification queue has been binded with the customer notification exchange using routing key email. So that is the reason email, this particular message has been delivered, or it has been routed to email notification queue. Okay, now I'm going to this email notification queue by clicking on it. So here we have an option to see the message. So here we have get message option. So here there is an option acknowledgement mode. So ACK means not acknowledge. Not acknowledge means it will, we can see the message, but it will not acknowledge. Again, that message will be requeued, means it will be there in the queue itself. So here what we need to do is acknowledge and requeue false. Means we can see the message and it will be acknowledged. Acknowledge means we are sending a message to RabbitMQ that we have seen this message and no need to show this again. Okay, so I'm clicking on get message. So here you can see the message what we have sent. Test Gmail and the email content. Same the JSON string here. And here we have two more acknowledgements: reject requeue true and reject requeue false. So we will need this reject acknowledgement. Why? Because, for example, in our application, you are trying to send email, but due to some reason, the email sending got failed. The email has not been sent. So in that particular scenario, we may need to resend this email again. That might be because of some network issue or something like that. So we have to try resending the email again. So in that case, what you can do is you can acknowledge with reject requeue true. So automatically this it will be rejected and requeued again. So again, the consumer will be able to receive the same message once it is requeued. Okay. Now let us go to queues again. So now here you can see here the count has become 0. So it has been acknowledged. So that is why it has become 0. Now again, I am going to exchange and going to customer notification. Now using the routing key SMS. Okay. And here I'm using another JSON string. The first one is mobile number, and the mobile number plus one, some mobile number. Okay. Then message content or SMS content. Okay. Your transaction is successful. Fine. So here we have used SMS routing key, not email. So this particular message should be routed to SMS notification queue. Okay. So I'm publishing it and going to queue. It has not been refreshed yet. Let us wait. Now still it is showing as 0. Yeah, now it has become 1. So there will be a slight maximum 5 seconds delay. Normally, actually the real message has got delivered instantly, but this page has taken some time to refresh. That is why it is showing, it has taken some time to show the count. So now you can see it has been showing 1 here. So that means the message has been received here. Okay. So here again, we are using acknowledgement requeue false and get message. And we can see the message what we have sent from the or to the exchange. So we can see the message in the queue here, and it has been acknowledged. So now the count will become 0. And also you can see the graph here. Now it has been published, then delivered, acknowledged. All this graph we can see here in a real-time manner, not real-time, a maximum 5 seconds delay or whatever time interval we have given here. So this is how a direct exchange works. Now, as I told, we have 3 more exchange types. The next type is fan out. That is also a very important type of exchange. We will require those kind of, or we will be having those kind of requirements in our application. So I will be explaining about this fan out exchange in the next video. So till that time, I'll request everyone to install RabbitMQ in your machine and check out all these things, the exchange queue routing, and understand how these things work, and plan your, just create a plan for your application, how you can integrate RabbitMQ. Okay, so how many exchanges you need and how many queues you need, to directly send messages. And I will just give a brief description of fan-out exchange. Fan-out exchange is like broadcast. It is like broadcasting, sending the message to all the queues, or that is called fan-out exchange. So I will discuss in detail in the next video. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any doubts, you can comment. You can ask the doubts in the comments section, and please subscribe the video, subscribe the channel so that you will not miss any future videos. And let me know your feedbacks as well. And yeah, so that's it for this video. And thank you all.